The Dallas Cowboys are clearly not standing still, and what we are watching unfold right now feels like a deliberate shift in how this franchise wants to build its identity on the defensive side of the ball. Over the last few days, the organization has quietly but firmly added new pieces to the coaching staff, and these moves say a lot more than just names on a press release. They point toward a philosophical change, a commitment to energy, teaching, and modern football thinking that Cowboys fans have been asking for without always knowing how to describe it. Two new coaches have officially joined the staff, one taking charge of the defensive line and another assuming responsibility for the outside linebackers. These are not random hires or familiar retreads meant to keep things comfortable. They are part of a broader youth movement that is sweeping through the defensive coaching room. And it starts at the top with a defensive coordinator who is still early in his career, but already earning a reputation as one of the sharpest minds in the game. The emphasis here is clear: fresh ideas, relentless detail, and a willingness to listen to players instead of forcing outdated systems onto them. One of the most striking aspects of this new direction is how often former players speak about the coordinator's intelligence and approach. When players who have been coached by someone describe him as a genius, it is not empty praise. They talk about preparation, about how every detail matters, and about how the coach actively seeks feedback from the players on what feels comfortable and what maximizes their strengths. The kind of two-way communication is rare in the league, and it creates trust. Trust is something the Cowboys' defense has lacked at times, especially when things started to unravel under pressure. This sense of trust and innovation is now being extended through the rest of the defensive staff. The new defensive line coach arrives with experience from a well-respected organization and brings with him a reputation for discipline and technical precision. At the same time, the new outside linebackers coach comes from a strong college program where development, intensity, and culture are non-negotiable. Together, these hires reinforce the idea that Dallas is no longer interested in simply maintaining the status quo. The goal appears to be building something sustainable, something that grows with the players rather than aging out of relevance. Age is another detail that cannot be ignored here. The Cowboys have assembled a defensive coaching group that is noticeably younger than what fans have grown accustomed to. This matters because younger coaches often connect differently with players. They speak the same football language, understand how the modern game is evolving, and are often more open to adapting their schemes based on personnel rather than forcing players into rigid roles. This does not mean inexperience. It means hunger, creativity, and a constant drive to prove themselves at the highest level. The new outside linebackers coach, in particular, stands out as someone who has already made a significant impact wherever he has gone. Those who played under him consistently mention culture before anything else. Practices are intense, repetition is demanded, and nothing is allowed to slide simply because players are tired or frustrated. If a drill is not finished the right way, it is repeated until it is done correctly. That mindset builds habits, and habits are what separate average defenses from dominant ones over the course of a long season. Another recurring theme when former players discuss this coach is accountability. Everyone is held to the same standard, regardless of position or status. Technique is emphasized heavily, especially hand usage and leverage, which are critical for winning battles in the trenches. This kind of teaching translates directly to Sundays. When defenders consistently win the first contact and control their opponent's hands, the entire defense becomes faster and more aggressive. That aggressiveness has been a defining trait of elite defenses across the league, and it is something Dallas has been searching for. It is also impossible to ignore the broader context of how these hires came to be. The Cowboys went through an unusually thorough process in evaluating defensive leadership, speaking with a wide range of candidates before settling on this group. That alone signals a change in behavior from past cycles, where comfort and familiarity often outweighed innovation. This time, the front office appeared willing to step outside its traditional comfort zone in order to pursue something different, even if it meant embracing uncertainty. What makes this stretch especially intriguing is how all of these pieces fit together philosophically. a coordinator who values detail and player input, a defensive line coach focused on fundamentals and consistency, and an outside linebackers coach obsessed with culture and accountability. These are not isolated traits. They reinforce each other. When everyone in the room believes in teaching, effort, and adaptation, the message becomes impossible to ignore. Players either rise to that standard or get exposed by it. From a fan perspective, this feels less like a cosmetic change and more like a foundational one. The Cowboys are not just adding coaches. They are redefining how they want to develop defenders, how they want practices to feel, and how they want players to think about their responsibilities within the scheme. That kind of transformation does not happen overnight, but the early signs suggest a genuine commitment to doing things differently. There is also a sense of excitement that comes from hearing direct experiences from players who have lived within these systems. When they describe coaches as culture changers and teachers rather than just play callers, it paints a picture of a staff that understands the human side of football. Schemes matter, but belief, trust, and accountability often matter more when the season reaches its most difficult moments. As the Cowboys continue to assemble this new defensive identity, the focus remains firmly on growth and evolution. This is not about chasing headlines or making flashy announcements. It is about laying the groundwork for a defense that can adapt, respond, and compete at the highest level year after year, and everything happening right now suggests that Dallas is finally willing to embrace that challenge head-on. Building on the momentum from the first wave of hires, the Dallas Cowboys continue to shape a defensive staff that is both innovative and intensely focused on player development. The emphasis on culture and accountability is already filtering through the roster, and it is becoming clear that this approach is designed not just to win games, but to instill habits that will carry the team through long seasons and high-pressure moments. Each coach that has joined the organization brings a unique philosophy, yet all share a common goal: to elevate every individual player while reinforcing a collective standard of excellence. The outside linebackers coach, in particular, has been highlighted repeatedly for the cultural transformation he brought to his previous programs. Players consistently describe him as someone who does not tolerate mediocrity. He sets the tone from day one, ensuring that attention to detail, relentless effort, and accountability become part of the fabric of the team. His impact is evident not only in the technical development of the athletes, but also in their mindset. Players leave his sessions with a heightened understanding of what it means to compete at the highest level, and that carries over into games where technique and mental preparedness can make the difference between success and failure. On the defensive line, the new coach brings a similar focus on fundamentals, emphasizing hand placement, leverage, and situational awareness. These are the subtle aspects of the game that can change the trajectory of a play within seconds. When executed properly, they allow defenders to dictate matchups rather than react to them. For a team like Dallas, which has long sought to return to the top tier of defensive efficiency, these details are non-negotiable. Coaches who understand the nuances of the trenches and can translate that understanding to players in real time are invaluable, and early signs suggest that this staff excels in that area. The youth movement within the coaching staff also brings a different energy to the building. Younger coaches tend to relate to players in a more immediate way, understanding how to communicate complex concepts effectively and how to maintain intensity without creating friction. They are often more willing to incorporate new technologies, analytics, and modern training techniques into their preparation, blending traditional football wisdom with innovative approaches. This dynamic is critical for a team that wants to modernize without losing the essence of what has made the franchise competitive over the decades. Another key element of this transformation is the balance between structure and creativity. Players have consistently praised the new defensive coordinator for his ability to plan meticulously while still allowing flexibility on the field. By creating a framework where defenders understand their responsibilities in every scenario, but can also make split-second decisions, the Cowboys are cultivating a defense that is both disciplined and adaptive. That adaptability is especially important in today's NFL, where offenses are diverse, fast-paced, and often unpredictable. The feedback from former players who have worked under these coaches underscores the significance of experience combined with innovation. These are individuals who have seen the impact of coaching styles firsthand and can articulate how it translates to performance. Comments highlighting emphasis on finishing drills, proper technique, and situational awareness suggest that the Cowboys are investing in long-term player development rather than short-term fixes. This kind of preparation builds confidence, and confidence often translates directly into results on game day. In addition to technique and culture, communication emerges as a recurring theme in player feedback. Coaches who actively listen to players, solicit input, and adjust based on feedback create an environment of trust. Trust allows players to take calculated risks, push themselves harder in practice, and execute more confidently during games. The Cowboys' current approach seems designed to maximize this dynamic, fostering relationships where respect is earned through knowledge, preparation, and consistency rather than mere authority. Moreover, the staff composition highlights a deliberate strategy of assembling complementary skill sets. While the defensive coordinator sets the vision, the defensive line and outside linebackers coaches ensure that the players are equipped to execute it. This layered approach prevents gaps in teaching and accountability, ensuring that every level of the defense is aligned with the overarching philosophy. By investing in quality across multiple positions, Dallas is building a foundation that can sustain success over multiple seasons. Perhaps most exciting for fans is the visible enthusiasm and belief these coaches bring to the organization. When players speak about their past experiences with these staff members, they emphasize energy, preparation, and a genuine passion for the game. This passion is contagious, and in a team sport like football, it can elevate not just individual players, but the collective unit. As practices progress and schemes are implemented, that energy will likely become one of the most defining traits of the Cowboys' defense. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers around the league suggest that a dramatic power play may be unfolding in Dallas. According to a source familiar with the internal mood at the Star, owner Jerry Jones has quietly floated the boldest of propositions, a blank check to entice a legendary figure out of retirement and hand him the keys to America's team. The move, still framed strictly as rumor, would signal a stunning shift away from the current direction under head coach Brian Schottenheimer. The chatter paints a picture of urgency. Jones, long known for trusting his instincts and swinging big when he senses a closing window, is said to believe that the roster is closer to contention than the public narrative suggests. In that context, the idea of a proven, iconic leader roaming the sideline again is being discussed not as nostalgia, but as a calculated jolt of authority and credibility. The source describes the pitch as simple and audacious. Full autonomy, total backing, and the resources to build the staff of his choosing. Around the league, executives and agents have begun connecting dots. Several retired coaching legends have been spotted back in football circles lately, fueling speculation that at least one has listened. No names are confirmed, and denials are easy to come by. But the rumor persists that preliminary feelers were received with intrigue rather than dismissal. The appeal, insiders say, isn't just the money. It's the stage, the brand, and the chance to cement a legacy in one of sport's brightest spotlights. For Schottenheimer, the noise represents the uneasy reality of coaching under an owner who never stops searching for the next edge. Officially, nothing has changed. Unofficially, the Cowboys once again appear to be flirting with seismic change. Whether the legend stays retired or answers the call, the mere possibility has reignited debate across the NFL. In Dallas, no seat is ever completely safe, and no dream is ever too big to chase. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.